Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
And welcome to Fairfield Today. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez, with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And as you can see, I am spending my afternoon at Art and Clay on Main at 150 West Main Street in downtown Lancaster. And I know it's a really busy time of year for everyone. When you're watching this, you're either getting ready for the holidays or the holidays have just transpired. About this time of year, some of us start to get a little bit of cabin fever. And so what better time of year to take advantage of all the cool things we have going on in downtown Lancaster, of course, including Art and Clay on Main. So if you haven't been down here yet this season, I encourage you to do so. We're going to talk a little bit today about everything that's going on downtown and give you a little bit of a sneak peek. With me today is the Fairfield DD Director of Business Development and Government Relations, David Ohl. Good morning, David.
It's a ridiculous title.
I think you made that title up.
I did make it up. I regret it now.
Because we still don't know what that means.
We have no idea.
So, David, things are hopping down here at Art and Clay. Tell me a little bit about what you have going on for the remainder of December and then what we can look forward to expecting in the new year.
Sure, yeah, as you mentioned, we are just about, I can hold it, thanks. Yeah, we are just about halfway through the month, and so really, depending on when you're seeing this, if you want to paint and get your items back by Christmas, you need to get down here by the 16th. If you're here and you paint by the 16th, we're guaranteeing you'll have items back by Christmas. Now, that doesn't mean you can't come and paint after that. For the 2 weeks leading into Christmas, we'll have the tables packed with people painting as well. They're just not going to get their items back before the 25th. They'll get them back the week after, and so we invite you to come down. And as you said, if you're getting a little cabin fever, the kids are going to be out of school very soon. After about a day or two of that, feel free to come on down here. We've got a ton of items, Christmas items and non-Christmas items that you and your family can paint. They start at about $6.99, and so it really is kind of a family-friendly, inexpensive way to come together, spend some time, and get creative all while supporting downtown and a great downtown business.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So people that haven't been here before, this is a paint-your-own pottery studio, first and foremost, where the Bisquare is already fired. All you have to do is come down, grab your brushes, pick out your paint colors, and go to town. You can make something actually kind of similar to this, right? You can, and it goes into a kiln. It's about a week-long process by the time the things come out of the kiln, get sanded down and packaged up and ready for you to take home. But that's not all you're doing down here. In addition to the Bisquare, what are some other offerings that are going on?
So there's a lot that happens down here, and one of the things that we have going on is we have a number of classes. And so the best way, because I could rattle down a whole list of classes, but it's difficult to remember, is to go to artandclayonmain.com, artandclayonmain.com, and go to the classes and events page. And when you do that, you're going to see all of our classes, all of our live music on Fridays and Saturdays. For the holiday season, at least, we've kind of kicked in some Saturday afternoon live music. We've been doing live Friday evening music down here now for 4 or 5 years, and the Saturday afternoon live music has added an interesting ambiance when you're down here painting, particularly for the holiday season. We've been trying to do some holiday-themed sing-alongs and whatnot during those Saturday afternoon performances, and so all of that's happening, but the classes are really, really cool. So you can come down and you can paint a plate. We have some of those classes. In January, I know we've got some introductory wheel throwing classes, wet clay wheel throwing classes, so you can come down for those. And again, all of this is online, and you can also register online. So you can hop right online. It'll tell you how much the class is, how many spaces are left. So if you want to register with a friend, you can do that. And then you can come down and really have more of a sort of personal time with our art instructors to work your way through those classes. It's a ton of fun. You've done a number of classes, I know, and we've done some as well, and it really is cool to be here. Some of them are after hours, some of them happen during normal business hours, some of them are after hours, and so when you come down here, you're really going to have an experience that's different than just coming to paint your own pottery.
And I have to say that your new website, I don't know who designed that thing, but it looks real nice.
It's real nice, Clark. It's real nice. Yeah, so artandclayonmain.com, and on there's...
Seriously, you're not going to give me any credit for the new website?
Just took all the credit. No one has to give it to you. You just...
So I did a really great job with the new website.
It's real nice. So the other thing that happens down here is we talk about all, certainly the paint your own pottery is a big deal. Our classes are a big part of what happens down here. And those all work to help support our social purpose of training and employing people with disabilities. It's the reason that Fairfield DD is involved in something like this. It certainly matches our mission of bringing about a vibrant community where people lead fulfilling lives and make meaningful contributions. And but we also have, in addition to all of that, Square 7 Coffee House.
See, Exhibit A.
Yes, and so we've been open for about 4.5 years now, and over the last month or two, we went on a journey. It actually started 3 months ago, where we decided we wanted to think about our product and what we were offering, and so we have now a slightly different coffee product than we had previously, and it's still a local roaster, but we kind of changed up our beans and our blends, and so we would invite folks down if they want to try our coffee. In addition to Art and Clay, this is a full-service coffee house. So any espresso-based drink that you can think of, you can get down here. They're handcrafted, made right in front of you. We have great just drip coffee. We have smoothies.
Someone just was in here a little bit ago, ordered a watermelon smoothie. I did not know you had the watermelon smoothie.
I'll tell you, watermelons, it's interesting because you're like, but I've had several people when I've been down here who have ordered watermelon smoothies. And so that person also ordered a gift card. And so that's the other thing I guess we could mention as you're thinking about the holidays. You can get a gift card in any amount and give that as a gift, and folks can come down and use that for anything in the store. They can use it for art, they can use it paint their own pottery, they can use it at Square 7, and so if you're saying, oh well, Christmas is just too crazy of a time for my family and I to get down here, or we don't think we can get the extended family down here to have an experience, you can get a gift card and they can do it after the first of the year.
Nice, very nice. Well, and I think that you get, I don't know about, your kids are still small, but mine are a little older, and after the hoopla of the holidays is over, they're kind of like, what's next? So to be able to have something to get them, to roll out of the cave, if you will, and bring them downtown to paint is pretty amazing. Now, these classes that you're talking about, I know you talked a little bit about the wet clay classes. I just took a phenomenal intro to perspective drawing class with Trisha Clifford Sprouse that was really great. It was sort of the same caliber of an intro class that I would have taken in college. And so I know you mentioned, the painting on the ceramics themselves, but are you still doing canvases and wood palettes and things like that as well?
Some. We do some of that. The ceramics classes are really what we've seen have kind of taken off. And then, as you mentioned, we're offering some new things with Trisha and some other independent artists as well who are coming down to teach classes. So Trisha has a series that she's working on through the first of the year. Again, artandclayonmain.com is the place to go to find them out. Just look under classes.
Best website that they've ever had.
And then you can also see some of the other classes too there in addition. And one of the other things as we sort of talk about art and artists is our artist in residence opportunity. And so,
and I've heard a lot about that. And you've got a deadline coming up for that. So I think we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the artist in residence program, as well as some of the employment opportunities that exist down here for individuals with developmental disabilities. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Fairfield Today. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez, with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And I am spending the afternoon at 150 West Main Street, otherwise known as Art and Clay on Main, and the Square 7 Coffee House. Indeed. Yes. And with me is my partner in crime, Dr. David Uhl.
How you doing?
I'm good. David is our Director of Business Development and Government Relations at Fairfield DD, but one of his main focuses is the overseeing of the running of 150 West Main Street. And it's a pretty big job this time of year, David.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and we start preparing for it back in October. So we have a pre-holiday staff meeting in October where we pull all of our staff together and spend an hour or two talking about what's going to happen during the holidays. We do some training. And then in November, we have our holiday staff meeting where we help them, again, try to understand what's going to happen, because the reality is that between the end of October and the 1st of November, our business triples and quadruples depending on the day because of all of the Christmas activity. And so when you think about that from a staffing standpoint, they need to understand that they're about to get absolutely crushed. But we love it. It's a fantastic time of year.
Well, I have to say it looks a little bit like your general manager over there, Mitzi Neiswanger, is operating on 5 wheels, maybe.
She is operating on 5 wheels. She is caffeinated, and who knows.
The camera can't see, but she is actually dancing around over there.
And it's best that no one can see that. But the reality is that she has.
Oh wait, now the cameraman's dancing as well. Fantastic.
Mitzi has a cot in her office. We don't allow her to leave between the Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so the staff down here really is doing phenomenal. And, when we talk about staffing, it really also includes people that we serve. This is an integrated staff of people with and without disabilities. And so when we hire someone, we're not really looking at whether they have a disability or not. We're looking at whether or not they can do the job we need them to do. Our goal down here is always that at least 20% of our staff is made up of people that we serve, and we usually exceed that goal. We're exceeding it right now, and as we do so, these folks got to get after it, just like any other staff member would. And so,
Well, and I think that's an important point when we talk about people that Fairfield DD supports. In other words, they receive services from Fairfield DD. It's not an automatic guarantee that you can come be employed at Art and Clay. There's quite a process that they go through, and there's a screening process and a training process comparable to any other employee.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we treat everyone the same down here, and so our employees, again, regardless of whether it's someone we serve or not, go through 2 interviews, one with Mitzi initially to make sure that things are as we would expect them to be. They go through an interview then with me, and I'm trying to gauge fit. I'm trying to gauge connection to our mission and make sure they understand what it is we do down here, that it's more than just painting pottery and serving coffee, but there's a broader, greater purpose. And then they have to go through background checks and physicals, and there's a number of things they have to do before they come on staff. And there is no guarantee. Like I said, right now, 20% of our staff is made up of people that we work with, but we also then have an internship program for people with disabilities, and that operates Monday through Thursday in the mornings down here. And really, Square 7 has given us the opportunity to offer that. There's so much that has to happen from a health department standpoint with cleaning and organizing and marking and dating and all of that. And so the interns have an opportunity to come here to learn some transferable skills, to understand what it means to serve a customer, to understand what it means to get up and come to work every day and to get a paycheck at the end of the week. And so it's an opportunity maybe for those who haven't yet found their place in the community. Maybe they never had an opportunity to work in the community before. Maybe they need to try to build up their resume a little bit with experience. They can come here for a 10-week period and really get that experience with us and with some job trainers from Job Fusion. And so it's a really integral partnership that we have. And Square 7 is predominantly where our interns work. And it's not easy work either. There's some serious stuff that has to happen down here from, a health department standpoint. And so all of this sort of merges together, or comes together, I guess, to help us fulfill that mission that I talked about.
You guys have a lot to celebrate down here.
We do, yeah. There's a ton going on. You talk about celebrating, and in fact...
Did you like that segue? Huh?
We didn't even plan it, did we?
I did. I'd been thinking it up the whole time you were talking. I listened to nothing you said.
That's how I... Usually the same is true of me. So we're on the same wavelength, though, yes. A couple of weeks ago, we were honored to receive the Firefly Award from Family, Adult, and Children First Council of Fairfield County. This is an award that's given out to people and agencies, businesses in the Fairfield County area that help the Family, Adult, and Children First Council achieve their mission. We have a close partnership with them, and it's been a great partnership for them and for us. And we were honored to receive the Firefly Award. This last year was really a year of awards, starting back in January, almost a year ago, with the Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce Small Business Award, Small Business of the Year. And it's hard to believe that a year has almost gone by. We were runner-up for Social Enterprise of the Year this past year. And then we also came in first place again for Columbus Parent First magazine. Is that what it's called?
Columbus Parent Magazine, Best Walk-In Studio.
Best Walk-In Studio and a run.
Or so I've heard.
Or runner-up for instruction as well. And so, what's happening down here has been recognized. And that's not the reason that we do it, but it sure is a way to acknowledge all that happens down here and how important it is, not just to downtown, which is very important, not just to the people that we serve at Fairfield DD, but to the community at large.
So speaking of integration and community, I want to talk briefly before we go to break about the Artist in Residence program that takes place down here at Art and Clay on Main. It is what used to be Blue Shoe Art. Blue Shoe Art, like many of our other programs and offerings at Fairfield ED, outgrew itself and graduated into something bigger and better. And as far as that goes, it turned into the Artist in Residence program. Tell us just real briefly what the Artist in Residence program is.
Yeah, well, and you really teed it up really nicely there. You know, many in the community knew Blue Shoe Arts and knew what it was. It was an art program for people who had disabilities. It was very successful, and artists who were a part of that program really had an opportunity to display their work, sell their work, generate a little revenue for themselves. It was difficult for us as we thought about where we were going and what we wanted to be as an agency, as an organization, to put that on the shelf, to take something so successful and say, yes, this is very successful, but it really isn't who we are anymore. And what I mean by that is we didn't want just a segregated group of artists down here working. We wanted it to be integrated. People from the community who have disabilities, people from the community who do not have disabilities.
But they all have talent.
That's exactly right. And so we wanted that to happen, and we tried to make it happen under the auspices of Blue Shoe, and we couldn't. We couldn't get past Blue Shoe just being a program for people with disabilities. So we had to put it on the shelf, and we started the Artist in Residence program. This is an opportunity, again, for anyone in the community that has artistic talent, that is interested in developing that talent a little further, to come here, to utilize the expertise of our resident artist. Her name's Pam, and she's our studio coordinator, to utilize some supplies that we have here, to utilize the space down here as a studio space, and to really develop an exhibition quality work that then at some point would be displayed down here, and one of our artists in residence has not only had their work displayed here but in other galleries in town as well, in particular over at Ohio University Lancaster. And so it's a great opportunity for what I guess I would consider emerging artists, those people who have real skill and talent, who need to have a little bit of development and time with a professional artist, to come here and to really grow in their desire to create that exhibition quality work. And so, but it's not a walk-in thing. So this is a program where you have to make application. You have to create a portfolio that includes samples of work and a project that you'd like to complete. It has to include how long you think that maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year. And the cool thing is that you don't have to do that on your own either. So Pam, our studio coordinator, will help you. If you want to come down and say, listen, I'm interested in the Artist in Residence program, but I don't even know where to start, she will help usher you through the steps so that you can make application to the program.
And I think we should say, too, that the selection of individuals into the Artist in Residence program is a juried selection composed of several local figureheads in the art community that sit on a board and go through the applications, and they actually make the selection based upon the body of work.
That's exactly right. Or if someone's emerging based on then what they want to do as they're planning their project. And so you have to apply in order to make it to that juried process.
Got to play to win.
That's right. And so January 1st is our application deadline. The application window opens twice a year, once in July, once in January. And so December for a January 1st deadline. So if you're interested in the Artist in Residence program, you should contact Pam. You can go on our website and get contact information. Again, artandclayonmain.com.
And you actually can email Pam directly from your website.
That's right. And so you can get to her and say, listen, I'm interested in this. You can set up a time to come and meet with her. She will help you to get your portfolio put together. But listen, you only got 2 weeks. January 1st is the deadline, and the holidays are in there as well, right? And so if you're interested, I'd get with Pam quickly, but you can still make it in this application window. And then in January, that juried process will take place, and we'll be selecting our next group of artists in residence.
Fantastic. All right, so we've covered people in the community that want to come down to art and clay to paint pottery, people in the community that come to art and clay to take classes, people in the community that come down to be a part of the Artist in Residence program, even people in the community that come down here for job training exploration. But there's still room for people who have no artistic interest at all, and that is the coffee. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go behind the counter at Square 7 Coffee House, show you a little bit about how some of these frou-frou drinks are made.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Fairfield Today. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez, with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And we are taking a behind-the-counter look, different than a behind-the-scenes look, right, at Square 7 Coffee House. And with me is David Uhl, who is our Director of Business Development and Government Relations, a bogus title that he made up.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I get to do this cool stuff down at Art and Clay, and so that's all good.
So we're going to learn a little bit about how a frappe is made. And we also have with us Kelly Miller, who is in charge of the Square 7 Coffee Bar. Do you call it a coffee bar?
Just give me the thing. All right. Thank you, Temple. Yes, we are. So Kelly is with us. She is sort of our coffee house coordinator. She's in charge of making sure that everything back here runs the way we need it to run. And actually, one of the things that's happening right now is we've had issues with our espresso machine. So she has it scheduled to be down, and it's being worked on. So instead, we're going to let's make a Belgian chocolate frappe. So oftentimes we'll have people come in and say, listen, I want something to drink, but I don't want coffee. I don't drink coffee. We can make any espresso-based drink that you want. What? Name one. Cafe mocha, lattes, any of those things, right?
Correct.
What are some of the big ones?
You know, I would have to say like our Buckeye lattes with a hint of peanut butter and chocolate. Milky Way's also very good. Who doesn't like chocolate and caramel?
So we can make all of those, but we also have drinks that don't have much or any coffee in them. So our frappes are an example of that. So Kelly's going to show you how we make a Belgian chocolate frappe. And the cool thing is that the technology that we use down here is pretty considerable. Again, as we work with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, sometimes there are people who have sensory issues. Things can be very loud. Blender is an example. Or when we have live music in here, it can be very disturbing. So we have a no-noise blender. And when you don't hear this thing in a few minutes, you're going to be amazed at how quiet it is. We didn't used to have this.
No.
It used to be very loud.
Very loud.
And that's not the case anymore. So Kelly, show us what you're going to do here.
So today I'm going to make for you a Belgian chocolate frappe. It's Ghirardelli chocolate powder that we use. It's just a mixture of powder, milk, and ice, and then we're going to blend it. Oh, also the whipped cream on top. Who doesn't like whipped cream on top?
That's right.
All right. First thing I'm going to do is fill up a cup of ice. I'm then going to go over to the milk bar.
So Kelly's grabbing the milk right now. This is a milk-based beverage, and and then the chocolate powder will go in. You're getting a view here of our frappe machine or our espresso machine getting worked on as well.
And back over. All right.
It's a very precise operation.
It's very precise. And there's a method to the madness. All right, here we go. Lid on it. Later that same day. And to the quiet blender we go. Lid down and on.
I don't hear anything.
I hear very little.
So this whole process, Kelly, probably takes, 2 minutes? And so if you're in a hurry, you can come down, move in quick. We can get you taken care of. And I'll just say that I know that the big boss, John Picar, this is one of his favorite drinks that we have down here. It is unfortunately not calorie-free.
No.
It is not sugar-free,
No.
but it is very tasty.
It's decadent. It's truly decadent. All right, here we go. Lid off. It's so thick and rich. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of milk to this. Blend it back up.
Back in the No Quiet Blender. While she's wrapping up, Temple, why don't you come in and take us out and wrap up the show here?
Thank you, David, for giving me my microphone back.
You're welcome.
And my show back as well. So
You were replaced pretty quickly there.
it's the story of my life. Actually, I've maneuvered myself quite conveniently right next to the Belgian frappe, if you will. No, I think all the offerings down here are fantastic. The job opportunities down here are fantastic. The product is fantastic.
Oh, my word, look at that.
The staff is fantastic. The whipped cream is fantastic. And I'm sure the drink is fantastic as well. I am about to find out. Huh? All right.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And from all of us at the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, we hope that your happy and holiday season was safe and that you were able to spend much time with your loved ones and family, and that you will consider ringing in the new year at Art and Clay on Main. Until next time, I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez, with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.